Hello and welcome to episode 85 of the Say Hey podcast, part of the BLEAV Podcast Network. I am Doug Hayes, aka Say Hey Doug. It is October 17th, 2022. Bringing in my co-host as always, Say Hey Rob. Rob, how's it going, my man? Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. The Dodgers are eliminated. First and foremost, got to get that out there. It's going to be a beautiful week, no matter what happens here on out.
There we go. Yes, before we get into anything, we have to touch base real quick. I mean, we are a Giants podcast. We'll get into that in a minute, but the Los Angeles Dodgers, the 111-win Los Angeles Dodgers, eliminated in the NLDS in 4 games by the San Diego Padres. Little NL West hate crime there. Getting rid of the Dodgers early. I think, for us Giants fans, after all these years of having to deal with the Dodgers winning the West, with the exception of last year and the Giants winning 107 games, the Dodgers just dominate, win the West. They win the World Series in 2020. Other than that, this is the most loaded on paper roster we've seen in recent memory. Dave Roberts guarantees a World Series win before the season even starts. Nothing to show for it. Pure joy for us Giants fans.
That team was so good, man. They left Hall of Fame closer Craig Kimbrell off the playoff roster. They were that good. And hey, another NOS banner for them to raise up there on opening day. So congratulations. 111 wins, NOS title.
It's funny because we talked about in episode 84, we kind of touched base on the Dodgers and how last year when the Giants won 107 games, it was like a big deal. Like even the big, us Giants fans, we bitch and moan about, we don't get national recognition. No, Giants got a lot of love last year for winning 107 games. The Dodgers go and win 111, 4 games more this year. Not a big deal, kind of whatever, because everybody expects the Dodgers to get to the, postseason and then get rolling. And it's like 100. This year will go down as known for 111 wins, just like the Giants were known for 107 wins, and that's it last year. That's it.
Hey, you know what though? The Giants won 107 games last year. At least they won 2 games in the NLDS last year. The Dodgers only won 1, lost 3 straight, and pretty much got embarrassed by the little guys down south. They're little brothers, I should say. The Padres. I mean that's a big letdown for that franchise. And like you said, they got the expectation for winning. Year in and year out, the Giants haven't really got there yet. But yeah, with Dodgers, it's a whole different brand. And yeah, it doesn't get much more disappointing than what they did this year. So whatever, screw them.
Good for us. We had a crappy year, but you know what? At least it ended with that. Makes it worth it.
Misery loves company, baby.
Misery loves company. Come join us on the links.
Yes.
Moving on to our next thing here. First off, we're really excited because Rob and I are, as you see our cute faces here, this is the first time we've actually streamed on video, on camera in over 2 years. So we started, we'll kind of go, we may have some new viewers, new listeners. My name is Doug. This is Rob. We started the Say Hey podcast in the middle of COVID back in July 2020 in that shortened season, but we thought it'd be a good kind of warm up year to get a podcast on, and we did. And the first 8 episodes we actually had up on YouTube with video and everything. Fast forward 27 months later, and we're on episode 85 here. We're cruising right along. We're getting stronger. We're getting better at this. The graphics and everything look much better now than what they were.
Beautiful, yes.
If you go back. So, but what I'm trying to get to is we are now part of the BLEAV Podcast Network. We are excited to come aboard with them, and we are the first San Francisco Giants podcast on their network. So we're very thankful for the opportunity, very excited to, get our show out there, find new people to interact with, and get our voices out. This is a podcast where we're honest. We will tell you if we think something bad is going to happen with the Giants, whether we're optimistic, pessimistic. We swear a little, so get fucking used to that. But we're excited. We're passionate. We're not professionals. We are just fans. So we have opinions. And I think our best thing is whenever we're wrong, because we are wrong sometimes, we admit it. So especially this year. So Rob, any words on joining BLEAV and kind of touching base on the podcast before we get into what we're talking about today?
Yeah, just grateful for the opportunity, of course. Getting out there on a bit of a bigger stage, and I'm just kind of blown away with all the ex athletes that are on BLEAV. I mean, I'm honestly, I saw Cordell Stewart the other day, and
Pac-Man Jones.
Pac-Man Jones, yeah,
man.
I don't really know if I knew what we were getting into, but seeing all that, I was like, okay, man, this can be pretty cool. But yeah, like you said, Doug, we don't pull any punches here. We don't work for the team. We don't really know anybody linked to the team. I mean, maybe a couple people, but nobody like that. But yeah, we call it like it is, and we love the Giants. We don't typically love players. We don't get attached to players. I feel like that's something that Doug and I do pretty well that a lot of fans kind of lose sight of. We're Giants fans. We're not really fans of players. So
yeah,
good
way to put it. As is it Colin Cowherd says, "Don't fall in love, fall in like."
Yeah. I don't like Colin Cowherd, but yeah, I think he does say that.
But I do agree with this statement.
Yeah, I do agree with that. Yes.
Yeah, so we're excited, grateful for the opportunity. Before we get into what we're going to discuss today, shout out Kang's Cast Ryan. Coors Light, open up. What are you sipping on tonight?
A little Mind Haze tonight. So it was a Monday. What can I say? And the Cowboys lost last night. So
yeah, don't get me going on my NFL team too. They suck this weekend as well.
Yeah, so. let's not do that.
Hey, so this is going to be a big offseason for the Giants, whether it's good or bad. We've heard now for a couple years, maybe last year was the season or the offseason where the Giants go and spend a lot of money on free agency. They kind of did last year, but could have done a lot more. This year, there's a lot of money on the books. I mean, we've been looking at the numbers, and currently on the 2023 payroll, now this isn't like with taxes and everything, but the total payroll allocations, $104.5 million committed towards the 2023 season for the San Francisco Giants. In comparison to 2022, where they were at about 168 million, yada, yada, yada. There's a lot of money that can be spent this offseason. And the number one name out on the market is going to be, of course, Aaron Judge. Now, Aaron Judge is coming off an all-time great season. Home run record, controversy or not, whatever. You know how we feel. No bond slander around here.
No.
But let's get into his 2022 he just had. He appeared in 157 games. An American League record, 62 home runs, 133 runs, 131 RBIs, 111 walks. He hit 311. He had a fantastic year, man. An on-base percentage of 425, and he slugged 686. Like, Aaron Judge had a monster year.
Hey, Doug, don't forget, he stole 16 bags too, okay?
He did. I mean, he can move for a big guy. Guy. 6'7".
That's not important right now. That's not important.
He's like 6'7", 280. So yeah, I mean, Aaron Judge is going to be a hot commodity, going to garner a big deal this upcoming offseason. So before we get into like our opinions, how we feel about the situation, because we are very opinionated on this, and rightfully so. Like whatever side you're on, whether you're like, hey, I think the Giants are getting him, or hey, I don't think the Giants are getting him, you can't really be wrong, because he's the biggest free agent on the market. And any team would kill to have Aaron Judge in the middle of their lineup or hitting in the two hole, because that's where the Yankees hit him this year. So the number one thing before we get into the controversial stuff, I would say, how would he fit with the Giants? I mean, this is easy. Like, he would easily become the biggest impact bat in the San Francisco lineup since 25 was Roman left field, Barry Bonds. And that's not even just debatable. No. He is, and we'll get into this a little bit too, defensively, he's okay. He's got a really strong arm. He moves pretty well for a big guy. Who knows how long he can do that for? But big outfield and right field, who knows? So the defense is kind of a question mark, but we all know that when you sign Aaron Judge, you're signing him for his power, his contact. How do you think he would fit with the Giants? Obviously.
Oh man, I mean, if you give him the keys to the city, he's the fucking mayor. Like he fit in great. I mean, you give him a stake in the team, you give him whatever he wants to come out here, and yeah, like you said, he's automatically the best player. I mean, it would be just, you got like Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. Like, it would be Aaron Judge and eight. Who the fuck cares at that point? I mean, he makes them better no matter what. So. Does he make the Giants that much better? That's debatable in my opinion. Even with him this year, I don't think they would have been a playoff team. I hate to say that, but I think what we have to look at is not just him fitting in with the Giants. It's, would he change how other guys get pitched to enough? Like he would, I mean, the Giants had no protection in their lineup whatsoever this year. No offense, Wilmer Flores and Brandon Crawford, but yeah, nobody was scared of you guys this year. Yeah. Nobody in that lineup put fear in any pitcher. But so yeah, obviously, he makes him better. I mean, hell, they could DH him every game, and he'd still make him better. Forget defense. Sure. Yeah, if you ask me, he need to bring a glove if they sign him. But I don't personally don't see how much better he makes that team. Yeah, better, yes. Does he change outside of like attendance and for fans? I mean, yeah, that helps a lot, but he doesn't raise them up that high. Like, and I might be in the minority on that. I don't know. And I know the eagerness of the fan base to get in a player like Judge. Cause like you said, it's been a long time since Barry Bonds, I mean, 3 championships in between now and Bonds, mind you, but
yeah,
nobody that has moved the needle the way Bonds did. So and we'll get into it. I mean, there's so many factors that go into this, but yeah, of course he fits in. I mean, he's it if he shows up, like everybody else adjusts to him. So he'd be a big factor. He'd make them a little better, but I don't think it's world changing personally.
So let's talk numbers real quick. And I'm not talking about the numbers already read off. Let's talk contract, because before this season he rejected, and now we find out intelligently so.
Yeah.
He rejected a 7-year, $213.5 million contract from the Yankees. Now, I was kind of looking at comparable deals to like the largest deals in baseball, because he's going to get that. He may easily become the highest paid baseball player in history before, next season. Shohei Ohtani probably gets something similar or larger just because of what he can do. But in terms of AAV, or average annual value, Mike Trout's making 35 this year. Let me look at some other big names. Corey Seager's AAV is 32.5. Mookie Betts is 30. Nolan Arenado's just over 30. I think I said a few months ago, I was anticipating that Judge is going to garner in between like 38 and 42. So average that out to about 40 a year. And I don't know about the terms of opt out, because he's not young. I mean, he's 31 years old.
He's 30. Yeah.
He's 30. He'll be 31 in April. So at the beginning of this upcoming season, the next season, he'll be 31. So definitely in his prime right now, but he's going to, garner at least a 7-year, 8-year deal, I would believe, to get him to about his late 30s, maybe even get a 10-year deal to get to age 40. So, and who knows about opt-outs? That's, way too specific, but
right.
Important. But, when we're kind of doing this kind of stuff, who knows?
Yeah. We don't know where that's going to end up.
Exactly.
That could be after 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. We don't know. So
in terms of contract, can the Giants afford Aaron Judge? absolutely, they could afford Aaron Judge moving forward.
Yes.
And I think that he would get somewhere in between 8 years, $330 million or something like that.
I think so.
What were you thinking in terms of contract that he's going to get?
I'm thinking, are we talking the Giants or MLB?
What he's actually going to get?
I think he's going to get 10 years, about 340. Okay. About 340. Between 340 and 375.
Okay.
And now he will get 10 years for sure, I think.
Now, and let's factor into my next point here. We've heard from writers, guys, gals who cover the sport, way more professionally and closely than we do. And of course, we're hearing and seeing the Giants will be interested or all in on this particular player. Well, guess what? The Giants will be interested or all in on every single big name free agent this upcoming offseason, whether they sign them or not. Even if they say that they're going to be, they may not even be talking. Of course, they're going to say that they are, because one, they have to save face that way. And two, we kind of have to compete with the roster down south, even though they just embarrassingly ended their season this week.
Which one?
Yeah, both of them.
Yeah, both of them.
And you can make an argument right now the Giants have like the fourth best roster in the NL West. I mean, the Diamondbacks are young and upcoming. They're getting better. Not saying that they're better than the Giants. I'm just saying you can't flat out say, whatever. But anyways, of course they're going to be in it. So yes, that's all for clickbait. Don't get too excited when you see the Giants are interested in Aaron Judge, because of course they are. That's like me saying I'm interested in eating a gallon of ice cream later tonight. Of course I am. But will I? Maybe.
Maybe.
But you agree with that, right? I mean, of course they're going to be saying that.
The Giants were linked to just about every free agent last year as well. Who did they sign?
Carlos Rodon.
And Jock Peterson. Carlos Rodon.
Exactly.
Woo!
Not the biggest of names. Now, Rodon had a fantastic year, gonna get paid, and Jock had an overall really good year too. But again, those are B type names. So, which transitions me into the next point. Like, let's talk about what he does and how it fits in with the Giants. And then we kind of talked about how it fits in, but he, of course, would come in, and it doesn't matter wherever he plays. He's going to be a power threat. But I'm going to tell you right now, and I feel like this is obvious, he's probably never going to hit 62 home runs ever again. Now, he may hit 50, 55, but 62 now depends where he is, though, because he's been playing at a Little League field in the Bronx. And where is a lot of his power to? Right center, right field, short porch there.
He's no fool.
No, and he's playing the field right, and his swing works for that field. Absolutely. Now, he comes over to San Francisco, Oracle Park, right? Even though they changed his dimensions the last couple of years, they closed the archways, on the wall down right field. It's still not easy, dude. Like,
it's
he will hit. He'll hit some out to right. But I would be shocked if Aaron Judge, right-handed bat, came to Oracle and hit, more than 40 home runs. And trust me, I'll take 40 home runs from Aaron Judge. I'm just saying this is all going to factor into our ultimate why we think, spoiler alert, he's not coming here. But yes, I mean, you agree in terms of bat. How does it fit Oracle Park?
Yeah, I mean, his swing doesn't quite fit Oracle. Like, I think he still has, plenty of power to go out to right field. I mean, a lot of his home runs go to straight away right field, not really to right center. If you watch him, so yeah, I still think he can. I'm not saying he's gonna be the first righty ever to pull one in the water from the right side. I'm not saying he's gonna do that, but I think his power, and I think the whole right center field. I think that's a little, overrated. I think that's a little too much, to tell you the truth. I think the way baseball is now. I mean, I think home runs were down this year, so they'll probably come back they'll probably juice the balls again next year, and get numbers up again, because like last year home runs were up, this year and they were a little down, aside from Judge. So yeah, I mean, baseball is just kind of leaning towards swinging for home runs every time, and I think we know that. And you see other teams go into Oracle Park and make it look pretty small. I mean, look at the Giants last year, and all their led the league in home runs a year ago. Yeah. And they didn't this year. Not what, they weren't even close. But yeah, I mean, left field, center field with him doesn't really scare me. I mean, I know he hits a lot of home runs to right field at Yankee Stadium, but I mean, he's I think his spray charts, it's pretty even. Like, he's not hitting all of his home runs to right field. So I think that's a little overlooked, or overrated. You're right. You're right, because he's not gonna hit that many to right field at Oracle as opposed to Yankee Stadium.
Yeah,
obviously, because I mean, it doesn't get any shorter than that. But yeah. I think I don't think it's that big of a deal as a lot of people want to make it out to be.
Now, I just want to reiterate, we're not talking about the point of view from the San Francisco Giants, because of course they'd be like, if Judge comes in and hits 40, 45 home runs over the next 3-4 years, they'll absolutely take that. We're talking about, why would Aaron Judge come here? Okay. Yeah. That's the point of view we're trying to get across.
What's his mentality? I don't think the right center in the bricks is going to play that much in his mind. There's a lot of other reasons. There's a lot of other reasons why he won't come here that we'll get to, but I don't think that's really one of them.
Well, I want to list another one, and this one actually may be at the top for me, and it's the Yankee legacy. He has been, with the Yankees up with the big club since 2016. He played 27 games that year, but in 2017 he played his first full year, 155 games. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by the Yankee legacy is he's been with the team. He has an opportunity to go another decade in this game at a fairly high level, at least the next, 4, 5, 6 years, if he stays healthy, of course.
Easy. Yeah.
But he could go down with the names of DiMaggio, Mantle, Rivera, Jeter, Maris. I mean, all these big names that
Shane
have played.
Spencer.
Yes, absolutely. Aaron Hicks. No, all these names that have Paul O'Neill. No, don't get us going now.
Let's not do that. No.
But seriously, if he were to stick around in the Bronx, he would absolutely be on the Mount Rushmore of Yankee players, possibly. Yeah. But that's how because when you think of baseball, I know I'm a Giants fan. Giants are a classic MLB organization, of course. Same thing with the Cardinals, blah, 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 all that. Even the Dodgers. But when you think of baseball, just internationally, big brand and all that, like, you think of the New York Yankees.
Right. And
the 27 championships. I just don't know why he would want to leave. I don't care that he was being booed in this series, which is still going on. I don't care if he was being booed because he started the series like 0 for 8 with 8 Ks. Like, he had to slump at some point this year, and unfortunately he waited till October for it to happen. But when I mean the Yankee legacy, like, he absolutely, if he sticks around and signs this big deal to stay in the Bronx, which I think the Yankees will spend whatever to keep him around.
I agree.
And more than the Giants, possibly even more than the Dodgers, I think the Yankees will offer top dollar. He absolutely could go down as the greatest Yankee of all time. And why would you want to leave that?
Yeah, you're right. And I just to retract a little bit there, you talk about the Yankee legacy and all their Hall of Famers and their Mount Rushmore. For a long time, Roger Maris had the home run record. How far down the list do you have to go of Yankees before you even get to Roger Maris?
I know I threw him in there because it was relevant to Judge's season, but I mean,
yes, but I mean, like, you went down the list, but I mean, you talk about DiMaggio and Mantle and Ruth and all these other guys. I mean, Maris had the
whole God, I didn't even say Babe Ruth.
Yeah,
Babe Ruth.
Maris had the home run record for so long, and he's not at the top of your head when you talk about Yankees.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I mean, all right, just go back there. The Yankees, and this kind of goes away from like the contract stuff, he's gonna get whatever he wants. Basically, at the end of the day, he ain't leaving the Yankees, I don't think, and they're gonna give him whatever he wants. But it's not just playing for the Yankees. It's the marketability that comes with being in New York and all the endorsements and all the commercials, all the side shit you can do as a member of the Yankees. It's like playing for the Lakers or the Cowboys. Like a really great example here. I mean, how good of a quarterback do we think Dak Prescott is? He's okay. He's middle of the road.
He's good.
If you didn't know anything about football and you just watch TV, you would think that motherfucker was top 3 in the league. He's everywhere. He's on every commercial. And
why?
Why?
Because he's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys.
He's quarterback of America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. And that's what goes with playing on these marquee franchises. I mean, the amount of money you're going to make doing that shit, it probably doesn't even compare to what he's making. Okay, well, maybe in Judge's case. I mean, in baseball, there's so much money in baseball. 10 years, 390 million, whatever the hell he's going to get.
Yeah,
that's fuck you money. But it's all the side stuff that comes with being a marquee player on franchises like that. And so that's why, if you're a Giants fan and you really have high hopes that just because the guy is from Linden, California, that he wants to come back here. I don't want to piss in your Cheerios, but that's probably Linden, California is probably the last thing on his mind when he's negotiating a contract.
You stole my next point, and I'm glad you did. No, because you transitioned well into it. Now, no disrespect against Linden, California. I know people that live there. It's a cute little town. My softball team that I coached, we played there last year. Great girls, great coaches. People are nice in Linden. It's a small little town here in the Valley. Your typical small town in the Central Valley. I need more than the whole coming home reasoning for Aaron Judge to play for the Giants. I need more than that. I just think it's such a cliche, lazy. It's not even a justification. It's just like a pretty piss poor reason. Great. He grew up a Giants fan. Whatever. Like he grew up during the time, like he's just barely younger than us. So, even though he was already in the Yankee organization, at least for, I forgot what year he got drafted, but for maybe one of those World Series, he got drafted in 2013. So the 14 World Series, he was already in the Yankee organization. The years before that, he was either at Linden or Fresno State. Mm-hmm. And that's great. Grew up a Giants fan just like us. That's cool. And you know what? If he did come back home and he got to play for his childhood team that he grew up for, like, that's a cool story. I get it.
That's neat. Yeah, it's
neat. It is. But you're going into your payday, and this is a business, and you're not going to make, an emotional decision drive the checkbook. It's just not going to happen. And so I just need better reasons. You could say, hey, maybe he wants to play in the National League for some reason. Like, okay, but maybe he wants to come out west in general. But I just don't get the whole coming home argument. That's pissing my Cheerios, dude.
Oh yeah, like you said, it's lazy and it's a little tired. And yeah, when he's sitting down at that table, marking out length and whatever you want, X amount of dollars, the last thing he's going to be thinking about is, I mean, Doug and I are from the Valley, okay? Like, there's nothing great out here. I'm sorry.
Thankful for our agriculture and our wine.
Agriculture and wine, my friends, my family. But other than that, come on, like this is going to be the furthest thing from his mind. I hope if there's some hope at all, if there's a ray that could possibly factor in his decision, like legitimately factor in his decision, I hope it happens, but I'm not there. That's not going to happen.
And I didn't have this in my notes, and I know our buddy Brooks has talked about this a couple of times, but like it does make, even if you think it's small, it's not a significant difference. the state tax here in California, not getting into politics, obviously, but just like the state tax here in California, it's high, I think. And especially when he is going to be in the highest tax bracket, he's going to be giving back a lot of that money to the state of California. And I know they have high rates in New York as well, but I was looking at them earlier. It's nothing close to like what it is here in California. It's not. And you could not pay me a dime to move from California to New York, but the taxes here are significantly larger. And when you're making as much money as he's going to be making, it's a difference. It's a difference. I mean, I'm talking over, if he got a 10-year deal, $20-30 million. It's a lot. And that's a year of a solid salary.
Hey, yeah. And I'm sure, I'm sure he's not even going to miss that money. I'm like,
probably not.
He probably don't do his own taxes, I imagine. so I'm sure. I mean, talk about losing 30 million and you don't even know what's going on. Like, it's a good life. But I mean, we don't know where he stands, on how important that is to him. Like, if it were Jeff Kent, we know where he'd stand. He played out here for a long time. But
it's true.
Yeah. If you never watched Jeff Kent on Survivor, Giants fans, go watch it. It's freaking hilarious.
It's worth the time. It is.
It's freaking hilarious. But that's not going to be a factor to him at all. I mean, it might be, like you're saying, it's a lot of money, but he's not going to care about that, I don't think.
Now, let's talk about the Giants' perspective here, and that's this current front office who has been headed by Farhan Zaidi, president of baseball operations since 2018. Well, he got here in November of 2018, so he's going on his 5th year. The history shows that the Giants, who knows, they have a lot of money, but they also had a lot of money this last offseason where they could have spent. And there were some big notable names that they didn't bring in.
Oh yeah.
What makes you think that the Giants are going to hand out a fat ass contract to a 30-year-old who has had some injury history, who's 6'7", 280 pounds, who in 4 or 5 years may not be able to play the outfield anymore, is just a DH, or maybe they move into first base, which who doubt that'll happen. And the counter is someone will bring up, well, the Giants were all in or interested in Bryce Harper 4 years ago.
Oh yeah, I remember.
How did that go? And also,
I came in second.
Yeah, exactly. Great. They were also, all in on getting Juan Soto at the deadline this year too, or interested in, again, going backwards, but there's more to that. Okay. So do we really think that this front office is going to hand out a massive deal to Aaron Judge? And trust me, if you're going to do it, this is a quality first candidate to hand out a massive contract to. And I'd get that. But until the Giants do it, I won't believe it. It's a see it to believe it kind of thing.
Where sports is a show me business, from fans, players, it's a show me business. Like you got to see something before you believe it. Like, I mean, I think the Sacramento Kings will be good this year, but I don't fucking believe it. It's been
a long time, my friend.
Yeah, I'm not going to dive into that and actually expect it because, it's been a long time. And that's how I feel right now about Farhan and, and ownership bringing in a big name. Now, my prediction is, say the Giants do make an offer to Judge. I'm thinking it's going to be around 8 years, $280 million. Ooh. I don't think they'll go. I don't think they're going any higher than 8 years, though, and that's why they won't. That's why they ultimately won't get him
with a club option after 5.
Yeah, something. But yeah, that's $35 million a year. Annual value. So, but I just don't think they'll go beyond that. They just haven't shown the Giants are good for a one night stand. Come in here, we'll have a good time, but you're probably leaving tomorrow. They're not one to go all the way and build a foundation with a player and say, this is, we are building around you. You are the face of our franchise. Now, granted, 8 years, that's a long fucking time too. Okay. I'm not saying it's not, but at the end of the day, if if I'm right here, he's gonna get around 10 years, 370 million. He's going to get 10 years, and the Giants, I just don't think are willing to go that route. They're look at Carlos Rodon. It was a good move, I think, on the surface because of Rodon's injury history, but he outperformed that 2-year player option by miles, and now they'll never see him again. Now,
of course, the 1 year he comes to San Francisco, he makes every single start. Yeah, every single start.
This is nothing except for when he was not feeling good that last start.
Yeah,
whatever. But so there's no reason to expect it. I agree with you.
Yeah, who knows? So until the Giants dish out they'll dish out some cash this offseason, but how much? That's the big question. And I'll flip this. I had 2 more reasons. I'll flip these, and you already touched on it. Kind of compare, like if you put Judge's season that he had on this year's team. Now he did have a WAR of 11.5, which is unfreaking real.
That's very
now
good.
Doesn't mean that the Giants win 11 more games. Do I think like the Giants with Judge, if he stayed healthy, had a damn good season, 155 games. Maybe a couple days more, they actually stay in this thing, and they missed that 3rd wild card spot by 2 to 3 games instead of 6 or 7, however many they missed it by. But
yeah, because unless Aaron Judge was gonna throw in middle relief, there
exactly.
I'm sorry.
Or make plays in the field. It didn't matter. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And he would have sat against right-handed pitching as well.
Oh yeah.
No,
you can't do that.
I'm joking.
Can't do that.
But point is, I switched these, but yeah, he alone isn't enough. If you're going to bring in Aaron Judge, he may be the magnet that brings guys in to surround him with. And that absolutely could happen. But if you were to just add Aaron Judge, maybe a small player or 2, and call it an offseason, I think a lot of fans would be like, yeah, but I'm going like, hey, maybe we'll win 84 games next year. It is not enough. You got to add more than just Aaron Judge.
No, like you bring up a very good point there. I've been talking to some people as well, and that's kind of been brought up. Like if you're Aaron Judge and you're talking to Farhan, isn't one of the first things you say to him, okay, you signed me, who else is coming?
Mm-hmm.
That's maybe not the first. There's years and money, but that's part of the conversation too. Like, okay, who else you gonna bring in?
Dude's gonna want to win now.
Yeah, like you said, like he's in his 30s. Like maybe the Yankees win the whole thing this year. Well, we don't know, but like that's part of the deal. And the Giants is no secret; they got holes freaking everywhere. They have a catcher, a shortstop for 1 more year, and a second baseman. That is it. That's all they have, and a couple pitchers.
Yeah,
they have holes everywhere you look. So, yeah, you are 100% right. That's a big part of the equation here. And if you're far on, what do you really say to that? Because you don't have a history of bringing dudes in. So, like, we'll give you what you want, but Judge is going to ask, okay, well, what else?
I'm glad you said, like, well, who else is coming? Because it brings us to my last point of, at the moment, now the Giants could have empty checks blank checks this offseason and immediately become contenders. They could. But again, kind of tying into avoiding big deals, we don't know what this front office is going to do. Like, they could literally do nothing or go all in, and I think that we would be like, well, nobody knew they were going. We don't know what route they're going to go. But the Giants' future is kind of hazy right now because they don't. Yes, mind hazy. Take a sip. Now there are some pieces in the minor league system, like it's a good minor league system, and we've talked about this in the past on episodes here. There are some developmental issues where guys thrive in lower levels and they get up to Sacramento and AAA, and it's kind of like they run into a brick wall and they don't pan out. Like, we never really saw Elliot Ramos this year get up there. David VR kind of caught on late, but I mean, if you're using David VR as a selling point for Aaron Judge, you're in trouble. Now Kyle Harrison is probably going to be in rotation at some point next year, and I'm excited about that. But the thing is, if you want to entice Aaron Judge to come to San Francisco, you're going to need to be like, hey, we're planning on going and getting like Trey Turner. We're in talks with Carlos Rodon to bring him back for 4 or 5 years. Like, okay, now you're talking. And hey, we'll add 1 or 2 more late inning bullpen arms. Like, now you're talking. Now you're like, hey, this could be a 90+ win team next year. We have some stars, and we're ready to go for the future. And when our minor league guys get up here and we can sprinkle them into the mix,
sure,
there we go. But again, until I see it, I'll believe it. So
yeah, man. Aaron Judge, I don't think gives 2 shits about Marco Luciano and those guys right now. I'm sorry. Look at the Rangers last offseason. It didn't work, but I guarantee you when they were talking to Corey Seager, a big part of that was, we're bringing in Marcus Semien too. And that you guys are going to, be our middle infield tandem for the next 10 years. I guarantee you that, that was part of the equation. I mean, for a shit team like them to land 2 big time free agents like that. Yeah. I mean, there had to have been something like that discussed amongst the players. And with Aaron Judge, yeah, it would take at least Trey Turner. I mean, at least, and probably some other guys too.
Yeah, I agree. We'll wrap here in a minute, but I just want to, so obviously Rob and I are pessimistic about the Giants being able to bring in Judge. I mean, just last little tidbit, like percentage odds that the Giants bring him in, I would say they're at about 4%. That's my own optimistic number.
Man, that's really negative, Doug. I'll go with 7%.
Wow, you almost doubled it. And I'll counter this. This is where I feel with it. I'd say the Giants are about 4 or 5%. I think the Yankees are at about 40%. I really think they have a good chance to bring him back. And then there's, the Mets maybe, which I doubt he stays in New York and goes to the Mets. But then there's the Dodgers or the Padres are really like, F it, man. Those teams will be in the mix as well.
I say there's like a 75% chance he stays with the Yankees. Yeah.
I only factor that in because there's 30 teams, and
I know.
There's those teams that are going to be up there willing to spend what the Yankees are doing it. But yeah,
I think at the end of the day, it comes down to, like we discussed in the beginning, everything that comes with being the man on the Yankees, and you got the world by the balls, man. Well, what else can you say?
Really do.
Yeah.
And listen, if Aaron Judge ends up signing with the San Francisco Giants, we will not be upset. We'll come on here and be hey, look, we were wrong again about something.
Yeah.
And
but we've been wrong lately.
If we're wrong, it means we have one of the best players on the roster.
In the game. Yeah.
Yes. You know what I meant. In the game. Yes, that would be on the roster. But until it happens, I'm not buying it. And so it's nothing against Aaron Judge. Would love to see Aaron Judge play for the Giants.
And truly, like, this isn't with you too, Doug. I don't think this is us being totally negative. But I really believe there's like not even a 10% chance that he comes in.
Yeah.
That's me being real. I don't think he's coming.
Listen, bro, exciting things to come in this offseason. We're going to be hammering out episodes in the upcoming weeks. I'm super excited. Again, we would like to thank BLEAV for giving us the platform that we're on. You can find our podcasts everywhere. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and we're now on TikTok because we got to connect with those damn I can't even talk anymore. Z Jenners.
Gen Z, dude.
Gen Z. Good Lord. Gen Zers is what I meant. Follow all those at Say Hey Podcast, and go find us on YouTube. We're back on YouTube, like we said in the beginning. Subscribe and get notified. And if you're feeling nice and you have Apple Podcasts, go give us a nice review. But we're really excited. Ask us questions, be getting into the postseason hot stove talks here soon. But exciting baseball too. We're almost to the LCS phase of the postseason, so it's a good time to be a baseball fan.
Yeah, man. Wouldn't you be excited with the Philadelphia Cleveland World Series? Oh my God.
I'm really rooting that's what it is at this point. I hope so. I was pulling for the Mariners.
Burn it all down.
Swept. I know that baseball and TV would love to get the Padres and Yankees somehow at this point, or the Padres and the Astros, but I'm all in on the Phillies and the Guardians. So give me it, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, just give us all the shit storms from this point on. The Dodgers are out now. I really don't care. So yeah.
All right. Hey, we'll catch up with you next time for Say Hey Doug and Say Hey Rob. Thanks for joining us, and go Giants.
Go Giants.
Say hey, say who, say Willie, say hey, say who, swinging at the plate, say hey.